Can look at yourselves as both being from planet Earth, all of you, and also not from planet Earth. From the perspective of you incarnating here over and over again, as most have been, you are tied to the Earth, literally, energetically, and therefore physically, and therefore you are from planet Earth, so to speak. However, many of you have come from other places, not only within this universe, other planets and other lifetimes, in the length, as you would call it, of time that you have spent in incarnations, but also many of you are not even from, shall we say, this universe, and in fact, from the greatest and broadest perspective, all of you are from the One. And so, there are two ways of looking at this. It is also in your history that you were seeded as such, that your DNA was re-encoded and reorganized by other beings from other planets, other intelligences that were not a part of your, shall we say, indigenousness to this planet. And in that case, all of you have this encoding within you and these origins about you. The blood factor type that you are calling Rh negative was once more common among you in the times of Lemuria, for it denotes you as Lemurian, and there were at times many more of you who have this Lemurian descent and still do on your planet. However, some of you have, shall we say, evolved yourselves into more common types, into the more common factors of evolution for your species, and some of you, a small portion of you, have held this back as a way to remain connected to this time, to these lifetimes, and to this energy, which has its purpose for holding space, has its own, shall we say, role in assisting your overall evolution here in this dimensional shift. And so it has become smaller and smaller in your population to show this Lemurian and then somewhat Lyran descent, which is also extraterrestrial, as you would call it, or not from this planet in its origin, and in this sense you are correct. However, we will reiterate that all of you are a part of what you would call the galactic family, a descendant, a seed as such, of other beings who have been seeded by other beings who have been seeded by other beings, and in this case it creates a lineage as such and family. In this sense, you are all extraterrestrial, or rather, you are beginning to understand yourselves as simply a part of a galactic family, with a particular lineage, yes, that may differ from other galactic lineages, yes. However, your idea of extraterrestrial being so, shall we say, far out is simply an egocentric idea. It is not far out at all. It is simply far out for that part of yourselves, that egocentric part that has not fully come into alignment with the idea that you are part of a greater galactic community.